This club that never stops giving. Guess what? Toney, a player banned for breaking betting rules according to the FA, is the new top target for Manchester United. Just a day after letting go of Mason Greenwood for doing nothing, Manchester United, who pretend to have all morals, all full of morals, are now looking at a player who broke the gist of morals in the Premier League as the next target in terms of goals. Toney is the player we're talking about. He's banned from football, from any footballing activities until January. Now, from Greenwood to Toney, this is Manchester United for you. Goodness, does this club have leadership? John Mata and Richard Arnold should be following Mason Greenwood out of Manchester United. I've got an update concerning another player who is being pushed out of the club, of course not permanently, but on loan. Pellistri. Guys, Facundo Pellistri has impressed anyone I know. Any Manchester United supporter who has followed the preseason has been impressed by Facundo Pellistri. But guess what? Apparently, United are looking to loan him out. To who? To Sheffield United, according to what we get. The reason they do say is because he needs more playing time. I actually wonder, do we overrate ourselves? Because before, I think during the Sir Alex Ferguson times, it would make sense to loan Pellistri. But in the situation we are in, Pellistri is one of our better players at the club. Even if he's not a starter, he's better. He comes on and does better. A lot better than Jadon Sancho will ever do. He puts more threat, I think, than Anthony Dos Santos. Dos Santos, we are about to accept he's a flop at Manchester United. But guess what? Erik ten Hag wants to prove to the world that his signings do not flop, and he's pushing and pushing their agenda to keep staying there and try to vindicate himself as the manager. Guys, Manchester United is in shambles, and I told you those two bosses should be leaving and following Greenwood out. I've had people calling for the head of Erik ten Hag. Guys, calm down. I don't think we are there yet. But guess what? I think the whole Manchester United project is a mess. Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb, and here again to burn you with Manchester United news. Of course, it started off as a rant, but it's an update within a rant. So deal with it, guys. It's a Tuesday, and yeah, after the departure of Greenwood, unceremoniously, I was watching Greenwood's videos and I was talking to a friend of mine, an ardent supporter of Manchester United, and actually this guy broke down looking at Greenwood and some of the goals he has scored for United, the moments he has had, what he could have been or become. Hand Greenwood to Pep Guardiola. Trust you me, you've got another Cristiano Ronaldo. But we've lost him just like that. And somehow Man U are now talking about money. They don't want money for him. There is a lot of hypocrisy in this club. You say you're letting go of a player because for doing nothing. You had your investigations that proved nothing, but you're still letting go of the player. Useless statement. This club has no leadership. We have no, because leaders make decisions that are informed, communicate their decisions properly, and stick to them. Now, they had confirmed that Greenwood is back in the squad. Because of backlash from a section of racist United supporters, they U-turn and say, no, he's not. He's leaving, but he did not do anything. So you're thinking, which kind of club is this? This is your own kid. He was at the club since he was 7. Anyway, let me not rant about Greenwood. He looks to be destined to good times because Saudi Arabia, like I told you yesterday, I hinted, Saudi Arabia is so interested in him. Apparently, United, I think, agreed with him he shouldn't join a competitor in the Premier League. No sense. Let him join whichever club he wants because you don't care about him anyway. You betrayed your own. You betrayed him. But let's move on and talk Toney. So just from United letting go of Mason Greenwood for moral decadency, if there's anything like that, they are now looking at Mr. Immoral himself in Toney. Now, take nothing away from Toney, and I think this is a sign of how desperate we are as a club, and that's a sign of the lack of direction and leadership, because from Arnautovic some time back, we've been linked to each and every one, and now we are being linked to players who cannot play football. How sad. We signed a player who is injured. That was our most important signing because we needed goals, we need a striker. We sign an injured player. We don't even know exactly when he's going to come and play his debut. We hope it's soon. but it could even be worse than what we are seeing, because if now conversations are about again going for a striker before even we play or we test the one we spent 72 million pounds on, it shows you maybe there's something we are not being told. But anyhow, so Ivan Toney, there's nothing, wrong with Toney. I think he's decent. He's 27. The plan for Eric Ten Hag has always been to sign a more senior striker and a younger one to learn from the senior one. So in this case, after failing on Harry Kane, Victor Osimhen, we went for Rasmus Højlund, because Harry Kane and Osimhen should have been the top targets as the senior strikers. And obviously Rasmus Højlund has always been that backup. So we first signed the backup, the younger one, not backup per se, but the younger striker who is not proven, is the one we signed first for 72 million pounds. And now we are looking for a more senior one. Meanwhile, the younger one came injured. So the more senior one for him to learn from is someone who was banned from football for 8 months. He can only return to football in January. That's Ivan Toney. Where has Ivan Toney played? He has played at Newcastle, loaned everywhere, left, right, and centre. At Newcastle, he was not good enough to cement a place in Newcastle. He was loaned, I think, in Preston and everywhere. Then he joined Brentford. At Brentford, to be honest, since he joined in 2020, he has been decent. Scored 68 goals, and he has been there. He has been an important player for them, seeing them kind of come to the Premier League and all. But is he really the kind of player we want as Manchester United? He's 27. If he was younger, I would understand, but he's 27. That's the prime age, but he has not been playing football. And you're saying you're letting go of Greenwood, a young 21-year-old promising player, the future of football, because he's immoral, and you're bringing in this immoral 27-year-old who has been playing. The biggest club he has played for was Newcastle, but he was not even commanding a starting place in Newcastle. I'm thinking, do we have direction? Guys, Richard Arnold and John Mata should follow Mason Greenwood out of Manchester United. Listen to the decisions they're making now. This is now where I will bring in Eric Ten Hag. We all watched the preseason, and I don't know of a single Manchester United supporter, and if there is any, please drop your comment here. I don't know of a single Manchester United supporter who was not impressed by this young boy Pellistri. He joined us in 2020. We loaned him out. We are loaning him again when we lack players going forward. We have lost Mason Greenwood. Pellistri is an impact player who comes off the bench and looks like he's going to create the next chance. He's a proper winger. He can, carry in a cross. But we are loaning him where? To Sheffield United, apparently to get more playing time. Why can't he get more playing time at Manchester United if he's looking better than the most highly paid players, the Anthonys of this world, who are just pretenders? They come out there and run and dilly-dal and do dummies and step overs, but do nothing. They are not effective. This boy looks like a proper threat. Every time Pellistri is on the ball, he's charging forward, direct to the goal. He's so fast, he's unpredictable, but also he looks like your next threat for a free kick or a penalty. So there's a lot we can do around Pellistri. But somehow Eric Ten Hag and these John Matters of this world feel he has no space. He's surplus to requirements for now. He's for the future. They are loaning him out. Yes, Jadon Sancho comes on as a substitute who is earning lots of money, £350,000 per week, does nothing. I feel like Pellistri makes more impact for United off the bench than Jadon Sancho. So, guys, oh God, this is heartbreaking. This club is such a pain to love, guys. It's so painful to love Manchester United. It's so painful to love Manchester United. Let me even enjoy my seeds a bit. Anyway, so this is where we are. Manchester United letting go of Pellistri. We've let go of Brandon Williams. I don't care. Brandon Williams really is not really that important a player. So Brandon Williams is leaving. That has been agreed. Of course, we've been linked to several other players, including the goalkeeper, who is looked at as the one to come through and replace Dean Henderson, who looks to be headed out of Manchester United. Guys, because usually when I'm stressed, I try IQ. I know it's not good to queue while speaking. Bear with me, it's only for today. So for that I can finish this video. But it's painful what's happening at Manchester United. So that is where we are, guys. I'm enjoying pumpkin seeds, by the way. They are healthy. But I think they also say pumpkin seeds are good for the brain. You think better if you chew them. So I think Richard Arnold needs to chew these more. Even Eric Ten Hag needs them a bit because the decisions he's making now. By the way, I feel like Ten Hag has changed a bit. The way he talks lately is not convincing. He looks like he's tired of what's happening. I think there is a lot of frustration. And guys, don't be surprised if we fail to sign a single player. Of course, we are having reports now that Manchester United have prepared a £29 million bid for Sofiane Amrabat. But I won't be so excited now because I don't know what to believe from United now, because I didn't believe that Mason Greenwood would leave for committing no crime. He did. So at this point, don't blame me when I say it's difficult to know what to believe from Manchester United, because like I said, when a club has no leadership and it's from the helm, from the Glazers now to the people they chose to run the club, the daily activities, the daily management of the club, clearly anything can happen. So here we are. We hear that the £29 million bid is being prepared by Manchester United for Sofiane Amrabat. But don't be surprised if we actually fail to sign a single player. Because which player in their right state of mind, if you are a player, guys, let me put this to you, and this is my parting shot, guys. If you are a footballer, a top footballer, by the time Manchester United is interested in you, you're certainly a player who can play for Spurs, Newcastle, all these clubs would want you. Now, would you join a club that turned back, that made a U-turn on and betrayed their child, a kid who was part of them since he was 7, for doing nothing? Seeing how they treated David De Gea, you saw how they treated Cristiano Ronaldo, David De Gea, now Mason Greenwood. If you're a footballer, would you really be excited to join Manchester United if you have options? The only argument may be if you don't have options, if there are no other clubs that want you. But by the time Manchester United want you, so many other clubs that are smaller than United will want you. For me, trust you me, if it were me, if I'm not a fan of United, I would choose otherwise if another club came calling, because you can't trust this project. Because you look at the disorganization in Manchester United, and trust you me, this club is losing their allure for top players. We are losing it fair and square. But that's because of the lack of leadership at the club. And the only solution, the biggest solution, would be for the Glazers to sell the club like yesterday. I hope it happens. Otherwise, it is sad what is going on at Manchester United. Greenwood is out. He's wanted by Saudi clubs. He's wanted by so many clubs. Somehow, this Man U is saying they are not looking to make man out of him. But in case they got any man out of him, they would look at options of how to spend it. So nonsense. I mean, you don't understand what's coming out of Manchester United. And they somehow, in their talks, apparently, they told him not even to think about joining a rival in the Premier League. Man, this club is such a pain. Why do I love it? Goodness. Cheers.